Hello everyone. I wanted to share a video just sharing about a few things that I have been using lately. Um, Sometimes during a particular month I will try to limit some of the things that I'm working with, so I'll pick like one tarot deck. I usually never pick an oracle deck, but since lately I have been really interested in getting more experience working with my oracle cards and just feeling more called to work with them, I decided to pull out the energy oracle cards, which I got a long time ago, like 6 years ago, as a gift from a friend who was not really enjoying them. And so I'll talk a little bit about that. So that's the point of this video, to share some of the things that I have been using spiritually, or especially for spiritual work and divination. So since I mentioned the oracle cards, I will start with that. This is my very beat up copy of the energy oracle cards by Sandra and Taylor. And so when I got these, my kids were little and I used to play with these cards and them, and I can't remember what happened to this book, but it's pretty badly chewed up, and it could have been a dog or it could have been my kids. Anyway, so I still use it, and in the future I might get a new copy of this deck. In my 10 decks that I use for reading for others video, I forgot to mention that I have used the energy oracle cards in readings for others, but I don't use them super often. But I'm hoping to change that, and I'm hoping to add more oracle cards to my readings for other people. So I actually really like the energy oracle cards. The artwork is super cheesy and it's very old, and kind of like people who are collectors of like indie oracle cards might be like turning up their nose at these cards. I think they're okay. I think it's a really good deck for beginners. I really like the guidebook. I like the information that Sandra and Taylor provides about how to work with oracle cards. I like the card descriptions and then the affirmation that they come with. Some of the images are also really nice, and they do have different elements that you can tap into to get more information, but you will see some of them are super cheesy, like this one. Oh my goodness. When I first got the deck, and there's the man holding a heart, and then there's a man holding a coin, there's a woman holding a heart, and a woman holding a coin. So this one is super cheesy, but I guess the message that it brings, don't let the image discourage you from the message that it brings, is what I'm trying to say. But yes, I think this is one of the cheesiest cards in the deck. So I have been using this deck every morning. I am pulling a card from the deck and looking at the description and the affirmation. I have been using it to check on the energy of different situations. I really like that it has chakra cards, so that's one of the chakra cards. Do I like these men angels? Not really, but I appreciate that it has chakra cards, and I appreciate that it gives you information about the archangels that are connected to that chakra. The healer of the ages, also known as Jesus. I'm sure that is what is implied here. I don't think I've ever noticed before that there's like, at first I thought they were paint brushes. Can you see them? But now I see they're kind of like flowers or something. So this is my one and only Sandra and Taylor deck, and this one I would say is also super cheesy. There's another deck by her that I am hoping to get. It is the Priestess of Light Oracle, And I was interested, another cheese alert. What was the other one? The Akashic Records Oracle or Tarot. But after looking at the Akashic Records Tarot, I felt like it was too similar to this one, and I have not gotten it. But the Priestess of Light is definitely on my list. And there's no diversity in this deck. There's no people of color, which is a big miss in my opinion, but also it's not very rare that in old decks everyone was a white man or a white woman. So I am giving this deck a chance because I've had it for such a long time, and because I like the guidebook, and because it's tuning into the energy of different situations. Some of the cards are very tarot, like this is the 10 of Cups in the tarot. Here's another cheesy woman holding a heart. Anyway, so I started my journey into oracle cards with this deck, and I am going back to it to see how I connect with it now. And maybe instead of buying another version of this one, I'll just get the other deck that I mentioned that I'm interested in. So a while ago I did the not my tarot aesthetic, so this would be my not my oracle aesthetic. And also in the last few months I have become very interested, I would say maybe like a little obsessed, with tarot decks by Ciro Marchetti. So I found a bundle of his decks on Mercari, and I was able to get like 6 of his decks for $60, so I bought them. And I haven't used all of them obviously, but I started my journey into his decks with the Tarot Grand Lux. And these were decks that I was never interested in before, and I probably would have never thought that I would want to have his decks in my collection. But tastes change and times change, and one of the reasons why I was interested in them is because since they're Rider-Waite Smith based, I was looking for additional decks that I could use for my readings for others. So that's one of the reasons why I purchased this one and the other decks. And I actually really like this one, and there's another version that has a similar look but more of a reddish tone finish to it, and it is the Encore Tarot. And I'm hoping to get it in the future. So these are the card backs. When I look at them, it makes me think that it makes me feel like I shouldn't take the deck super seriously. It gives me this like it's all a game feeling. I don't know why. But these are the card backs. The size of the cards is a little bigger than a traditional tarot deck, but smaller than an oracle deck. So this is the Shadow and Light Oracle that I made a video about, and this is how the size compares. So the book with this deck is not very good, and in the book Ciro mentions that this is more for people who already know how to read tarot, so there's not a lot of information in his book. So I'll flip through a few of the cards. I really like this World card. I think this Hermit is okay, but I have been using it, and it does give me different like it allows me to use my imagination and open up to different messages based on the images. There's like a story going on. Of his decks, I think this is the first one where he has people of color featured. I think all the other ones for the most part have only white people, so I was happy to see that. Something that I've noticed about his decks is that a lot of times some of them they have this like repeating imagery to them, Some of them are new images, but sometimes you will see repeated imagery. And once I use the other decks, I'll share more about how I'm getting along with them. I really love this Six of Cups image, just like the childhood, innocence, playfulness. This is the Knight of Wands. I also really love this High Priestess. It's very Rider-Waite-Smith, but with an additional mood to her, so I really like it. There's another deck that I am interested in getting. It's it's like a mishmash of the Rider-Waite-Smith with the Marseille Tarot by Ciro Marchetti, and I think it's called the Tarot Decoratif, and that one is also on my list. So I have been using this one, and I have been able to read it clearly. I do like the images, and I like the style, and like I said, it's just different. So a few days ago I did a reading for myself, and I got this card, and usually the Fool is like such an important card about new beginnings and taking risks, and I really had to stop and think about this deck because this Fool is very foolish. So, and he's also very pensive, and he's kind of looking at himself, like his higher self is kind of looking at him like, there you go, you fool. So I had to sit with this card to get the message a little more. So yes, as I was saying, some of the images, they make you kind of stop and think a little bit more about the message, but I really like it. Yeah, okay, so I have been using this one together with the energy oracle cards, and they have been reading okay together. I was I'll show you a reading that I did for myself that I'm sitting with because it's kind of an intense reading. So they do have kind of that similar imagery of like manipulated photos, so I have been using them together. And I have also been really connecting with my stones and crystals for regular things, just learning about them, using them, like carrying them with me per like every day, not all of them, picking one and then working with that one each day. And then I mentioned in another video that I have been learning and practicing lithomancy, which is reading divination with stones. So this is my lithomancy set. This is the bag I keep it in. And so I have been connecting with this set in particular, and I made myself a few sets as well, just for different kinds of readings, but this is the one that I have connected with the most. And so a while ago my daughter made me this string. We were making spirit cords, and I have been using it for my reading, so I'll just put it in a circle like this. I'll tell you about the crystals I have in this set. These are crystals that I am really familiar with, so they felt like they were a good place to start. I have some lepidolite, some clear quartz, although it's more milky quartz. I have a small piece of petersite, onyx, moonstone, angelite, yellow mookaite, carnelian, smoky quartz, amazonite, amethyst. This is chevron amethyst, and then rose quartz. So I have been testing it out for personal readings, and what I'll do is I will center myself and connect with the stones and just ask them for guidance about whatever question I have. And then with my right hand, which is my non-dominant hand, I will pick a few stones and then I will drop them with my eyes closed somewhere in the vicinity of the circle, and then I will read them. So I usually will interpret the stones based on the meaning or the use of the stone, but I also look at the like the placement in the circle, if they're outside the circle, if they're closer to me, how close they are to each other. So I'm kind of learning from other people about how they read stones, but also adding my own way to what feels right about how to read the stones. And something that I just started doing is after reading like the placement of the stones, I will grab the stone and just connect with its energy and see if there's any messages that it wants to channel or share through me directly. And I have really been enjoying working with stones this way. I love crystals and stones. And I also have a set of river or lake stones that I was hoping to read with. But when I asked them if I could read with them, they said no. So you might wonder, how do they tell you no? So I have a stone in that set, which I will bring so I can show you, because I was also connecting with them over the month. So this is my Riverstone set. They're not river stones, they're stones from Lake Michigan. I picked them up in a local beach here nearby my house, and they're small enough to be good for reading. So I have this set has this stone, which has this like quartzy side and then this dark side. So I have assigned this stone as a yes and no stone. So depending on what side it falls on, that's yes and this is no. So when I asked them if I could read with them and use them for lithomancy, this stone said no. So I was disappointed, but then I decided that I needed to listen to them, and if it's not time to read with them that way, then I should respect that. And then I also practiced to make sure that the stone would not always land on no, because I was worried about that, and it does land on both sides. So I have not started connecting with them to use them as a lithomancy set, but I have been learning about what they are. So there's a lot of different kinds of stones you can find on Lake Michigan. And for example, this one's granite. Here you can see. I found out that these green ones are a type of unakite. And these are not polished or tumbled. This is how I found them in the beach. But when you wet them, they look much brighter. So I believe these ones are unakite. There's also epidote in Lake Michigan. So I think these are a type of epidote. There's also a lot of quartz, milky quartz there. I have some milky quartz stones, but they are not included in this one, in this set. These are fossil. This is a fossil stone. These little shells are crinoids. It kind of looks like writing, and I thought this one was really great for divination because the shapes can look like something and help you get messages. This one has some kind of quartz. This one is also some kind of quartz. It's red, and I'm working on identifying what they are. I think this one might be a kind of rhyolite. I thought and hoped that this one would be a euperlite, which is a stone that will react to UV light. And I have a UV light. It did not react. But I have another stone that reacted a little bit. But this one is not bad. It does look like Michigan greenstone, which has another name that I can't remember right now. But I just love learning about stones. I love finding out what they are, what they're made of. This one I picked up because it has this band through it. And they're all really soft and smooth. This one I picked up because it was kind of flat. It has this like crack here, but it also gave me like a feeling of like a letter. So that's why I have it. I'm not sure what it is. So these ones, I don't know what they are. Oh, I think I said this one was a rhyolite. And these two are some kind of quartz. This one is red when you get it wet. So it might be another kind of quartz or rhyolite. And then this one I just got because it was nice and thin and smooth. So this is a set that I'm getting to know, and I haven't asked it if I can read with it for lithomancy. So when I do, after it says yes, then I would connect with each stone individually to see what their message or keyword would be. Right now I am still connecting with them in the sense of learning what they are, holding them, putting them up on my sacred space and charging them, and just looking at them. And that's how I'm connecting with these. So I have some other sets that I might not get to show because I don't want this video to be super long. But once I start working with those lithomancy sets, I will share them with you. This is the one that I have been working with the most. And then I also wanted to mention a few books that I have purchased in the last few weeks. I got these used online, and this one is so beat up and not very pretty looking. So I'm kind of hoping that, or just learning that next time I should try to get a better copy. But I'm excited to read it and learn more about crystal healing. And I'm also excited to, this is my first book by Katrina Raphael. So I know she has a trilogy that she wrote, so I want to get the other two. And then I got the Crystal Ally Cards book by Naisha Asian, who recently converted to Christianity and has renounced her work with crystals, but thankfully her books are still available. I really enjoyed her videos and her content when she was sharing. So I think she had a lot to share with the crystal community, even if she has decided to change her path now. This one didn't come with the cards, which I'm not sad about because the cards are pretty hideous. But it does have all the interpretation and additional information for how to work with crystals. So I'm really excited about these two books. And then these are some yellow crystals that these ones I have purchased recently. This one is a honey calcite that I've had, honey optical calcite. I've had it for quite a while. So I wanted to share these. This one I actually won by the same person that I buy crystals from. And I really love it. It's a yellow calcite sphere. It has so many rainbows. This one is a golden healer palm stone. And this one is also a golden healer quartz. But this one is a tumble stone. So I'm excited to work with these two. This is the first time that I have a golden healer quartz. And then this little one is citrine, the heat-treated amethyst kind of citrine, which I still love. I think that it's a really, when I have a few of these citrines, and they just make me so happy to look at, even if they're not naturally this yellow. So these are a few yellow crystals that I'm working with, and I think that sums up I'm also working with these. I mentioned them in a different video. Um, Moonstone, Zebra Dorite, and Orange Selenite. Um, yeah, so I'm just connecting a lot with my stones, and seeing where that path leads me. I hope that you've enjoyed hearing about some of the things I have been doing and the things I'm working with. Let me know what's something that has got you feeling excited about your practice in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning in.